letting go of the past and current trauma to improve your future. I'm really excited to share with you some information that I am passionate about that can improve your health and, in the end, the quality of your life. Let me ask you, have you had any past emotional traumas? Sure, we've all had them. Can we agree that we've all had some kind of emotional stress in our lives today? Sure, we all do. That's not the true question. The question is, have any of these stressors affected your brain and then in turn your life in ways you are most likely not even aware of? Again, the odds are this is true for most of us. Can we recognize that these stressors can affect our ability to really have the life that we want? For some of us, we sometimes have stress, anxiety, or emotions that we know we sometimes self-sabotage ourselves by not eating the way that we want to, or not exercising the way that we'd like to, or not responding properly to a stressful event, or not having the relationships that we'd like to have. Many of my patients have told me that this information helps to explain why they default to certain patterns and negative behaviors, and why they feel stuck and how to move forward from it. I hope this helps you.
Let's get started. Letting go of the past and current trauma to improve your future. Let me take a short moment to share who I am. I've been in practice since 2009, and I've graduated from the Canadian Memorial Chiropractic College. Early in my career, I had made the decision that I would never be satisfied, that I knew it all, or that my way would always be the best. And I relentlessly am dedicated to getting the best results for my patients, which was why I've constantly searched and learned and have mastered the best techniques and tools. This has produced amazing success stories and results for my patients. I'm the only practitioner in my area that does quantum neurology within a 125-kilometer radius. This is a technique that helps to rehabilitate the nervous system. In this workshop, we're going to talk about emotional trauma and how Quantum Neurological Reset Therapy addresses it. I'm the only practitioner certified in Canada to do this work. I've spent hours traveling to learn from the founders who've developed these protocols, and I've mastered them to help my patients. In this workshop, we're going to talk about what is the stress response, what happens to your mind and body when dealing with stress and trauma, how stress affects your health, and what can we do about it. If we took the time for you to close your eyes and imagine you were holding a lemon and you took it to your nose, what would you smell? Yeah, the citrus aroma. And would you start salivating? Sure. And if you took a bite out of it, would you purse your lips from its sour taste? This is a simple example of how powerful your brain is. Realize that your brain can't tell the difference between what we vividly imagine and think about and what's really going on in our physical bodies. And so your body will secrete dangerously high levels of stress hormones in response to stressful thoughts. Or on the flip side, it'll secrete healthy, feel-good chemicals in response to balanced thoughts of appreciation and gratitude. So what is stress? Stress is a response to a situation that a person perceives to be overwhelming and that the person does not think that they can meet the demands of the situation. So you can have the same situation for one person, it'll be stressful, and for the other, it's not. Stress causes the nervous system to rapidly increase the heart rate, increase sweat production, and the brain to dump massive amounts of stress hormones into the blood. Your brain starts to prepare itself for what we call fight or flight, whether it be real or not. This stress response was meant for short-term use. For example, fleeing a tiger. But in today's world, we are not fleeing from tigers. When you have a healthy stress response, you respond quickly and appropriately to stress. After the stressful event, your body dampens down the flight or fight response. Your system recovers and returns to a baseline state of rest and recovery. Short-term stress is normal. Unfortunately, in today's society, this response is allowed to function in duration that our system was just never designed for. Here's the truth. Our brains are not designed to handle long-term stress. We become overloaded, we become stuck, unable to think clearly, and our physical bodies will start to break down. Chronic stress leads to a dysregulation of our stress hormones. This in turn will lead to an unregulated inflammation in our body. And inflammation translates into symptoms and disease. A study looked at childhood trauma and studied just over 17,000 kids under the age of 18. Trauma, also known as adverse childhood experiences. Experiences such as violence, abuse, neglect in the home or community, and having a family member attempt suicide. This also included aspects of the child growing up in a household with substance abuse, mental health problems, and divorce. These traumas are linked to chronic health problems, mental illness, and substance misuse in adulthood. The researchers were surprised because the study had linked adverse emotional experiences to be the root cause of many illnesses, such as anxiety, depression, autoimmune diseases, and chronic health problems, such as lung and liver disease. You might ask, how prevalent are these adverse childhood experiences? 67% of us have had one event in our life. The CDC reports that 85% of diseases have an emotional element attached to it. We know that traumatic events change how the brain is wired. It doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be abuse, neglect, but anything that puts your brain into overwhelm. It doesn't really matter what the stressor is, whether it's poverty or chronic abuse or the bully on the bus. Stress impacts how the structure and the architecture of the brain forms. Whatever has happened in your life, whether it be stressors as a child or as an adult, healing from it can become your gift in your life. I have patients that have healed from their traumas, and then they can in turn help others. Imagine you were a 3-year-old child who just got bit by a dog. Let's fast forward 30 years later, where you encounter seeing another dog. Everybody around you is saying, "What a cute little puppy." But instead, your mouth is getting dry, you're sweating, your heartbeat increases, and you are scared, and you don't know why you're afraid of dogs. Does the conscious brain remember encountering the dog at 3 years old? It doesn't. You don't remember that at all. But in the subconscious mind, it does. And we have another fight or flight response. Know that we have all had emotional traumas in our lives, and that has changed our reality. And because of it, it has changed our health. It changes our ability to work, our relationships, our self-talk. Look at what your experience would be if you were raised by a father that came home every day and said, "I hate my job," or you were bullied as a child, or you didn't receive the attention you might have needed. How would that impact your subconscious mind and your life? Our minds are like an iceberg, and we operate over 90% from the subconscious mind. So to get to the underlying cause, we need to deal with resetting the subconscious mind. In this technique called Quantum Neurological Reset Therapy, it's like checking to see if your brain is storing stories like the angry dog. If you are, then it is limiting your ability to have the life you want, the relationships you want, the health that you want. If we can go in the brain and reset these stories, like rebooting your computer, so now instead of responding to the dog with fear, you will respond, "Cute little puppy," because we have reset that part of your brain. Imagine your brain was like a train track. Being incongruent means your conscious mind is holding your wishes and goals and pulling you into one direction. But if your subconscious mind is holding limiting beliefs and negative patterns and pulling you into the other direction, what happens? Your subconscious mind wins 100% of the time. Congruence is when both the conscious and the subconscious mind are working together. Then at that point, you win and can reach your goals and dreams. Let's review a few QNRT principles. The first is that our nervous system will adjust its physiology and its response to fit with our congruent beliefs. You can read more about this in The Biology of Belief by Bruce Lipton. Secondly, the brain can't tell the difference between physical or emotional pain. The brain reacts the same way. Thirdly, the brain connects and coordinates all tissues in the body. Healing starts in the brain. Emotional stress affects our brains, and what it does is that it changes the lenses in which we see reality. A QNRT reset will give you a new pair of glasses to see the world. QNRT is a neurologically based technique compared to what is known as energy work. It does not remove the past trauma or erase it. Instead, it creates a new neurological pathway in the brain to have a healthy response. And that's why it's so powerful, as it's working on the subconscious mind. Note that it is a gentle, non-invasive, and very comfortable technique, and it has deep, long-lasting benefits. How do we do a reset? In this workshop, I can't show you a live demonstration, but I can share that I use standard neurological testing, such as having you follow a pen light, or standing with your feet together and closing your eyes. I will also do some muscle testing to determine what brain lobes are breaking down. To determine the emotional trauma or event, I will use a specific protocol using various standard neurological tests and specific what's called neurological inputs. These neurological inputs are found on different parts of your head, organs, and tissues. I'll stimulate these points by gently touching and using a light on these points. I will be gathering some information, and then once I have that, I will be able to tell you the age the event occurred and some other key pieces of the puzzle, such as what emotions were involved. For example, did you feel unloved, felt like a failure, or stabbed in the heart? I will be able to share with you if it's something you saw or heard, or did it involve a relationship. Amazingly enough, since your subconscious mind is guiding me to the issue, you will more often than not have the event pop right into your head. And it's not talk therapy, so we don't talk about what happened, but we are going to be able to connect the dots so we can connect the conscious mind to the subconscious mind. Once we've determined that, then we're able to do the reset. Again, to do the reset, we use standard neurological tests and specific neurological points on the body, as well as using some releasing statements, such as, I'm ready, willing, and able to let go of being fearful of the dog biting me. I do get asked if I can work on children, and I can. Mom and dad can help me with the conscious story. We can also address transgenerational traumas, and these are learned negative behaviors from emotional traumas that can be passed down the family line. I'd like to let Kim share with you how QNRT has changed her life.
Hi, my name is Kim, and I wanted to share my experiences with you about my QNRT sessions. So, my whole life I've suffered from anxiety and depression, and I felt really bad for a really long time, and I basically tried everything. And then one day in my news feed, this QNRT session popped up in social media, and I figured, well, why not go see Dr. Ginette and hear what she has to say? So I sat here for about an hour listening to her, and the whole time I felt like she was speaking directly to me. So what she was saying about negative thoughts and worthlessness, all of that stuff, the anxiety, the depression, it was me to a T. So after it was done, I went and I signed up right away, and I went to my first session about 2 weeks later. And after the first session, I felt happy. I felt really happy. I went back home to see my family, and they were talking about how happy I seemed and how they finally saw me again because they hadn't seen my old self in such a long time. Since then, I've been doing this for about 2 months. Everybody's noticed a big change in me. They say I'm happy, I'm glowing, I'm my old self. I feel mentally stronger, I feel more confident, and it's really because of these QNRT sessions and Dr. Ginette that really helped me out. Since starting QNRT, I've been doing things that I never thought I'd be able to do. I started really going back and doing things that I enjoyed, and I found that I hadn't done them in a long time. So I'm reading again, I'm writing again, I'm going back to the gym. I actually got a personal trainer, I'm signing up for piano lessons, and I went back to school. So since I've started, I've kind of abandoned my fight or flight reaction to things. I find myself a lot calmer than I usually am. I actually stop and think about things before I act or react or before I even say things. Even my kids who are young, tell me that they haven't seen me in a long time. I'm back to my old self. I'm singing again. I'm dancing again. I'm playing games with them. We're going on adventures. And even my 16-year-old son started talking to me again.
Imagine you told yourself that you are unlovable. No matter who tries to love you, you won't feel lovable. Or if you felt like a failure, how could you live the life you want or feel like a success? Or if you felt unworthy, it would be really difficult to believe anything good could ever happen to you. Or if you felt unwanted, you would always be searching for acceptance. Maybe you would be neglecting yourself. If you felt powerless, maybe you'd feel like there was no way out, or you felt controlled. QNRT can identify negative and faulty beliefs and reset them to create new healthy beliefs. Brenda came to see me with feelings of being stuck in her life, and she had chronic health issues. After 8 QNRT sessions and 12 quantum adjustments, Brenda feels happy with her life now. I'll let her share some of her experiences with you.
This has been the most powerful thing for me in relieving anxiety and stress. QNRT, I found to be a very simple method. I thought it was going to be a lot more complicated. I thought I was going to have to come to Dr. Ginette and tell her different things that have happened to me in my life. And no, she uses her techniques and muscle testing and her lasers, and you just have to experience it for yourself to see what it's like. But we were able to uncover different trauma that happened to me at different ages. And it was quite interesting that I remembered things from even a long time ago that had happened to me. And we were able to do a reset and for me to feel much better about these things afterwards. At the end of the session, each time I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders and just feel this great peaceful feeling that has carried with me in my life. I feel much more at peace, at ease. I feel more joyful, and my family and people close to me have seen the change in me. They say, you look so happy, and they're right. I feel a lot more free.
A QNRT reset is like having a slower computer program, and you need a faster one to really process the information that's coming in. Getting a reset will help you upgrade your computer power. We find it, we reset it like rebooting the computer, and you do the rest. Many of my patients have reported that QNRT has helped them with many things, such as reduce or resolve pain and discomfort, improve sleep patterns, resolve destructive behaviors, reclaim their energy and improve their vitality, improve relationships that they have, overcome different health concerns. Things that used to trigger them no longer does. And the biggest one that I hear all the time is that they feel calmer and more at ease, like as though a load was lifted. I usually hear from patients that those around them will notice the changes in them as well, and sometimes it's even before the person sees it themselves. So how do we get started? After you've completed a health questionnaire, we'll meet during your first visit and complete a series of brief, non-invasive exams. These will help me obtain an overview of your health and give me insight into the underlying issues. I will then consolidate and review everything we discussed as well as your test results. Once that's finished, I will review them with you in your second visit. I want you to understand what the information has shown me so that you know why I am making my specific recommendations. From there, we will look at your personal care plan. This will be a customized program intended to help you reach your health goals during your care. Once I've answered your questions, we'll set up your initial appointments. On your next visit, your care plan will begin. I commonly get asked, how many visits will I need? I'll be able to determine that after we meet so I can assess your unique situation and health goals. Know that this is not a 1 or 2 visit process. On average, patients will do anywhere from 8 to 16 QNRT visits. Your healing takes time. It's a process if you really want to resolve the issue. I'd like to thank you for taking the time with me today. If you have any questions, you can go to our website and contact us or give us a call. I really look forward to meeting with you and working together with you on your healing journey.